Hey guys, it's YouTube channel Prepping with Sarge. Today I want to show you a little something with the foraging video that I couldn't really do with a short. So this one's going to take a little bit longer, but it's kind of an important one. And if you're new to foraging and you've been following my videos trying to learn the skill, this is really one that you're going to want to try and pay attention to. Stay with me now. All right, thank you so much for staying with me. If you are brand new to the channel, please consider subscribing, especially if you like videos about wilderness survival, foraging, looking for medicinal herbs and edible plants. I drop videos at least twice a week. Frequently, it's more than that. I also talk about financial survival, financial preparedness, storm preparedness, all kinds of different topics that you might like in the preparedness and survival niche. If you're returning, please consider dropping a like. It helps me out a lot in the algorithm. And let's do a quick comment of the day. Comment of the day. Have you ever eaten anything that was like considered a wild edible, and what was it? And that can be a dandelion, it can be a pawpaw, whatever, but tell me what it was. Thank you so much for staying with me today. So there's been a couple new, as I've been walking around, it is late winter here in South Carolina. And I've been walking around, and of course there's some new stuff popping out of the ground, which I've been looking forward to because it's been hard to find new plants to show you for the foraging videos. So finally there's some new stuff coming out of the ground. And I've seen one that was kind of stumping me a little bit. So I want to show you because this is one of those ones that has a poisonous look-alike. And it's just one that even I, with my experience and my confidence on this, I'm not going to risk it. So I want to show you that this can happen so that you just know that, first of all, this is one that's out there that has some poisonous lookalikes. And second of all, just always, rule number one is always be 100% sure that you're eating what you think you're eating. Because if you get it wrong, it can be a pretty costly mistake. It can be fatal. Stay with me. All right, see this guy here? That is spiny fruit buttercup, and there are several different variations of the buttercup species. To my knowledge, they are all toxic, okay? And what's interesting is you may say, well, that looks a little bit like a parsley leaf or a little bit like a cilantro leaf. My understanding is they are related, and therein lies part of the problem. Now, here in South Carolina, we have another plant that is blooming right now, that is popping out of the ground right now, called hori, bolisia. And I believe I have that in a different location. I'm gonna have to film that when I can get to that one. But the leaves look a little bit similar, and it's also related to cilantro and I believe parsley. So the problem is all of these buttercup species have toxins, to my knowledge, okay? And the hori bolisia is a choice edible. It actually tastes really good. So me, with all of the books that I have and the people that I can consult with, would I take a chance? No, because I can't be 100% certain. And this is a really good example because these are coming out of the ground at the same time in the same areas. So it is very, very easy to make a mistake. All right, now we're in a secondary location now. So this is the hori bolisia. Okay, and I want to show you in my hand here. I took some of the buttercup, okay? I want to try to show you, see that leaf there? I want to show you how similar this is. Okay, the shape is extremely similar. So that's the hori bolisia, and it's related to cilantro. It actually tastes like a mild cilantro. Now, the camera's probably not going to pick this up, but to the naked eye, there's like a little fuzz, like a little hairy fuzz on the leaves. And that is one of the distinguishing criteria. Now, the leaves do look a little bit different. I'm going to show you the other one again in a minute, okay? So this is the buttercup, okay? All right, that's the buttercup. And there's no fine, hairy peach fuzz there. The hori bolisia does have it. Okay, but it is a very similar shaped leaf, and they come out of the ground at the exact same time, and they come out of the ground in the exact same areas. So that is the problem. All right. Now, I do think with enough practice, I'll be able to spot this real quick without having to look at my books. But that is your big criteria there, and it's probably not getting picked up on the camera. There's like a little bit of white peach fuzz on the leaves. But Sarge, you say, what if you couldn't find anything else and you were starving? I still wouldn't. And my situation may be a little bit different because at this point with my foraging experience, I can almost always find something safer. I can almost always find something better. So would I eat that? No, because I'm not 100% sure. And at this point, this is probably a good chance for me to dispel a couple myths out there. So on one of my foraging videos, somebody asked the question about, well, what about like taking a little bit and like putting it just on the tip of your tongue or underneath your bottom lip, or rubbing it on, the inner part of your wrist? Yeah, those are some of the methods that people have tried, but I'm not going to advocate for you to try that, because there are ones that can just a little bit, especially with mushrooms, a little bit can kill you dead, like the destroying angel, right? Like that's, you put a little bit under your tongue thinking like, well, I'm just gonna see if it's safe, and you're dead. Okay. So I don't teach that, and I don't recommend that you do that. If you wanna learn how to do this correctly, what I recommend is that you find somebody in your area who's got some expertise and go out with them and learn like 5 that are common in your area. Okay, start with that and get some books. Okay, and in my description down below, I recommend books for multiple areas in the US and parts of Canada. Check those out. And then when you first start finding them, you're also going to go on the internet and you're going to say, okay, does this look like what I have in my hand? Okay, and then smell it, and you're going to touch it. Does it have like little barbs on the back of it? Do the leaves look right? Do the stems look right? When you crush it, does it make the right consistency? Okay, so there's a lot that goes into this. Some are really easy to identify, like the dandelion. Other ones, like the one that I showed you today, is a lot more tricky. Okay. All right, another really good question I got on one of my foraging videos was, hey Sarge, should you be touching these things if you're not sure what it is? That's a really good question. And the answer is probably not. But I kind of know my area pretty well. I have a pretty good idea on which ones that, like certain mushrooms I'm not going to touch, because you can absorb some of this stuff through your skin, especially like the psychedelic mushrooms and things like that. So, yeah, there's probably some stuff you shouldn't be touching. I think that's a good question. So if you're, especially when you're first starting out on this, be careful about that. Perfectly okay to wear gloves if you're taking a little sample that you can take home and research with your books and go on the internet. It's okay to wear gloves, put them in your little foraging bag, things like that. So that was a really good question. Let's show you one more. I was actually going to make this one into a short. It's another lookalike example, but I think I'm just going to embed it in here, and I think it'll work better that way. So I've done this before, but I want to do it again because this is really important. I want you to understand the concept here. Which one of these is poisonous? Okay. Look at this. Okay. They look very similar, don't they? That's hollyberry, that's poisonous, that's partridge berry, that is edible and medicinal. They look very, very similar, and what's really interesting here is that this came from a tree that is very, very close to this. So I've actually found some of these berries on the ground, okay? So why am I telling you this? You really need to know what you're doing here. So make sure that you're learning from other mentors in your area. Continue to follow my channel. Definitely going to link some in my description. I'm going to link some books that will help you, but be careful because this poisonous one is falling very, very close to this edible one, okay? So these videos hopefully get you on that right path, but there's more to it than that. And I'm just hoping to start a process for you so that you can, take the next step, which is get yourself a library, get yourself a mentor, and just kind of continue to expand on this skill, all right? Feel free to ask me any questions down below. Keep planting your seeds, keep stacking your silver. This is Prepping with Sarge.